10 life-changing daily habits you must work on every day. Become unstoppable. The moment you realize that your life is being shaped not by luck, not by chance, but by the quiet habits you repeat every single day, everything changes. Right now, there are people out there with less talent, less opportunity, less support than you, yet they are winning. Not because they are special. Not because they are chosen. But because they have mastered something simple, something invisible, something powerful. Their daily habits. Before we go any further, stop for a second. If you are serious about transforming your life, about becoming mentally strong, disciplined, and truly unstoppable, subscribe right now. This channel is where you rebuild your mindset, sharpen your discipline, and take full control of your life. Don't just watch, commit. There is a quiet power in discipline that most people never experience. It doesn't look exciting. It doesn't feel dramatic. It is not loud. It is not celebrated, but it builds something within you that cannot be shaken. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that a man is not what he says he will do. He is what he repeatedly does. Every morning, you are given a choice. Not a loud choice. Not an obvious one. A silent one. You either step into control, or you drift into chaos. Waking up with intention is not about forcing yourself out of bed in misery. It is about remembering who you are becoming. The moment your eyes open, your mind starts negotiating. It whispers excuses. It offers comfort. It invites delay. Most people listen. That is why most people stay stuck. The disciplined mind does something different. It refuses to negotiate with weakness. It gets up, not because it feels like it, but because it has decided that feelings do not lead, purpose does. There is something powerful about owning your morning. When you wake up and immediately take control, you send a message to your mind, I am in charge. That message echoes through your entire day. Silence is another habit that most people avoid. They run from it. They fill every moment with noise, distraction, endless scrolling, meaningless conversations. But silence is where clarity lives. It is where you confront yourself. It is where you see your fears without filters. The Stoics practiced stillness because they understood that a distracted mind is a weak mind. When you sit in silence, when you allow your thoughts to surface without running from them, you begin to understand yourself. And once you understand yourself, you can control yourself. Control is everything. Another quiet habit that separates the strong from the weak is the ability to delay gratification. The world is built to weaken you. Everything around you is designed to give you comfort instantly. Easy entertainment, easy pleasure, easy escape. But every time you choose what is easy, you train yourself to avoid what is necessary. Strength is built when you do the opposite. When you choose the harder path, not because you enjoy suffering, but because you understand its value, you begin to develop something rare. Resilience. Resilience is not built in comfort. It is forged in resistance. It grows when you push through what you don't feel like doing. When you continue despite boredom, despite discomfort, despite doubt. There will be days when you feel nothing. No motivation, no excitement, no energy. Those are the days that matter most. Because anyone can act when they feel inspired. Very few can act when they feel empty. The Stoic mindset teaches you that your emotions are temporary, but your actions define you. Another habit that changes everything is self-reflection. Most people go through life reacting without thinking. They repeat the same mistakes because they never pause to examine them. At the end of each day, ask yourself simple questions. Where did I act with strength? Where did I fall into weakness? What can I do better tomorrow? Not to judge yourself, not to criticize yourself, but to improve yourself. Growth does not happen by accident. It happens by awareness. You cannot change what you refuse to confront. Gratitude is another powerful habit, but not in the shallow way people often use it. This is not about pretending everything is perfect. This is about recognizing that even in difficulty, there is something valuable. The Stoics believed that obstacles are not interruptions. They are the path. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to build strength, patience, discipline. When you begin to see life this way, nothing feels wasted. Pain becomes training. Failure becomes feedback. Struggle becomes growth. This shift in perspective is what makes a person unstoppable, because they no longer depend on external conditions to feel strong. They generate strength internally. Another essential habit is controlling your reactions. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everything deserves your response. People will test you. Situations will frustrate you. Life will throw unexpected challenges at you. But your power lies in how you respond. The Stoics taught that you cannot control what happens, but you can control how you react. And that is where your freedom lies. When you stop reacting emotionally to everything, you become calm in chaos. You become steady when others panic. You become focused when others lose control. That kind of presence is rare. That kind of presence is powerful. Discipline in your actions must be matched by discipline in your thoughts. What you tell yourself daily shapes your reality. If your inner voice is weak, negative, full of doubt, your life will reflect that. You must train your mind the same way you train your body. With repetition, with consistency, with intention. Replace excuses with responsibility. Replace doubt with action. Replace fear with focus. This is not about pretending fear doesn't exist. It is about refusing to let it control you. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action despite fear. Another habit that transforms your life is protecting your time. Time is your most valuable resource. Once it is gone, it does not come back. Yet most people waste it without thinking. Endless distractions, meaningless activities, empty consumption. If you want to become unstoppable, you must become intentional with your time. Ask yourself constantly, is this helping me grow, or is it holding me back? Every hour matters. Every decision compounds. Your future is being built in the small moments you ignore. Consistency is where everything comes together. Not intensity, not bursts of motivation. Consistency. Doing the work every day, even when it is boring, even when it feels pointless, even when progress is invisible. Because progress is often invisible, until it is undeniable. Most people quit too early. They don't see results, so they stop. They don't feel improvement, so they give up. But the truth is, change is happening beneath the surface. Quietly, slowly, powerfully. And one day, it shows. Another critical habit is emotional detachment from outcomes. Do the work, but don't become attached to immediate results. Focus on the process, not the reward. Because when you focus only on outcomes, you become frustrated. You become impatient. You lose control. But when you focus on the process, you become steady. You become disciplined. You become unstoppable. The Stoics believed in doing what is right, regardless of the result. That mindset frees you from anxiety and keeps you grounded in action. Finally, understand this. Becoming unstoppable is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming consistent. It is about showing up every day with intention, discipline, and awareness. There will be setbacks. There will be moments of weakness. That is part of the process. What matters is that you return. Again and again. Because every time you choose discipline over comfort, you win. Every time you choose growth over ease, you win. Every time you choose control over chaos, you win. And those small wins, they build something within you that cannot be broken. So start today, not tomorrow. Not later, now. Take control of your habits, and you take control of your life. If this message resonated with you, subscribe right now. This is your place to grow stronger, think deeper, and live with purpose. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and become unstoppable. Good. Let's go deeper, because this is where most people stop, and where you begin to separate yourself. There is a version of you that already knows what to do. It doesn't need more motivation. It doesn't need more videos. It doesn't need more advice. It already understands the path. Wake up with discipline. Focus on what matters. Control your emotions. Do the work. But there is another voice. The one that whispers comfort. The one that delays action. The one that says, just one more day. Your entire life is a battle between these two voices. The Stoics didn't try to silence this conflict. They mastered it. They understood that the mind will always resist discomfort. So instead of waiting to feel ready, they trained themselves to act anyway. That is the difference. You don't become unstoppable when things are easy. You become unstoppable when you stop needing things to be easy. There is a habit that is often ignored, but it is one of the most powerful you can build. Doing what you said you would do. It sounds simple. Almost too simple. But look around. Most people break promises to themselves daily. They say they will wake up early. They don't. They say they will focus. They get distracted. They say they will improve. They stay the same. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your self-trust. And without self-trust, discipline collapses. But every time you keep your word, even in small things, you build something unshakable. You begin to believe in yourself. Not because of what you say, but because of what you do. That belief becomes your foundation. Another layer of growth comes from embracing discomfort intentionally. Not waiting for life to force it on you, but choosing it. Take the harder option. Stay a little longer in the work. Push a little further when your mind says stop. Sit with the discomfort instead of escaping it. Why? Because discomfort is not your enemy. It is your teacher. Every time you lean into it, you expand your limits. You increase your capacity. You become stronger. Not just physically, but mentally. And over time, what once felt difficult becomes normal. That is how transformation happens. Slowly, quietly, repeatedly. There is also a dangerous habit that must be eliminated if you want to become truly unstoppable: seeking validation. Most people are controlled by how others see them. They adjust their actions based on approval. They hesitate because of judgment. They stay small because they fear criticism. But the Stoic mindset is different. It is rooted in internal validation. You don't need applause to act with discipline. You don't need recognition to stay consistent. You don't need approval to grow. In fact, when you stop depending on external validation, you unlock a new level of freedom. You move differently. You think differently. You act without hesitation. Because your standard is no longer based on others, it is based on your own principles. And that is power. Let's talk about focus. Focus is not just about working hard. It is about working without distraction. In a world designed to steal your attention, maintaining focus is a rare skill. Every notification, Every scroll, every interruption pulls you away from your purpose. And the more you allow it, the weaker your focus becomes. You must train your attention like a muscle. Set boundaries, eliminate distractions, create space for deep work. Because when you learn to focus deeply, you achieve more in less time than most people do in an entire day. And that efficiency builds momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence fuels action, and action changes everything. Another habit that separates the disciplined from the average is emotional endurance. Life will test you. Not once, not occasionally, constantly. There will be moments when things don't go your way, when effort doesn't bring immediate results, when people disappoint you, when plans fail. Most people react emotionally. They quit, they complain, they lose control. But the Stoic approach is different. You endure, not passively, not weakly, but with strength and awareness. You understand that setbacks are part of the process. You don't take them personally. You don't allow them to define you. You adapt, you adjust, you continue. That ability to keep going, especially when it's difficult, is what builds unstoppable momentum. There is also something important you must understand about progress. It is not always visible. There will be days when it feels like nothing is changing, like your efforts are going nowhere, like you are stuck. This is where most people quit. But this is also where growth is happening the most. Underneath the surface, your habits are shaping you. Your discipline is strengthening you. Your mindset is evolving. You just can't see it yet. This is why patience is a habit. Not passive waiting, but active persistence. You keep showing up, you keep doing the work. You keep improving, even when results are not immediate. Because you trust the process. And eventually, the results catch up. Another powerful shift is learning to separate effort from emotion. You don't need to feel good to do good work. You don't need to feel motivated to take action. You don't need to feel confident to move forward. Waiting for the right feeling is a trap. The disciplined person acts regardless of how they feel. Tired, act. Unmotivated, act. Doubtful, act. Because action creates clarity. Action creates momentum. Action builds confidence, not the other way around. There is also a habit of simplifying your life that many people overlook. Too many distractions, too many goals, too many unnecessary commitments. When everything feels important, nothing truly is. Clarity comes from elimination. Remove what doesn't serve you. Focus on what truly matters. Build your life around your priorities, not your impulses. Simplicity creates focus. Focus creates progress. Progress creates results, and results reinforce discipline. This is how you build a system that works for you, not against you. Finally, understand this truth. No one is coming to save you. No perfect moment is arriving. No sudden burst of motivation will transform your life. It comes down to what you do, every single day. The habits you choose, the actions you take, the standards you uphold. This is your responsibility, and that is not a burden. It is your power, because once you accept that everything is in your control, your actions, your mindset, your discipline, you stop waiting. And you start becoming. So continue. Stay consistent. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Because the version of you that is calm under pressure, focused in chaos, and unstoppable in pursuit, is not built overnight. It is built daily. And you are building it right now. Say less. Do more. And now, understand this. None of this works unless you decide it does. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Not when everything is perfect. Because that moment will never come. The truth is simple. Your life is a reflection of what you repeatedly do. Not what you plan. Not what you say. Not what you wish for. What you do. Every disciplined action builds you. Every moment of focus strengthens you. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you elevate yourself. And every time you don't, you stay exactly where you are. There is no neutral ground. You are either building momentum or losing it. Stoicism teaches one powerful truth above all else: control what you can, and master it completely. Your habits are within your control. Your mindset is within your control. Your effort is within your control. So take ownership. No excuses. No delays. No negotiation with weakness. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Because consistency turns small actions into powerful results. It turns discipline into identity. It turns effort into transformation. One day, you will look back and realize it was never about one big moment. It was about the quiet decisions you made daily. The habits no one saw. The discipline no one applauded. That is what made you different. That is what made you unstoppable. If you've made it this far, then you already know, you're not here to stay average. So take this seriously. Commit to your growth. Commit to your discipline. Commit to becoming someone you can respect. And if you're ready to keep building that mindset, to keep sharpening your discipline and pushing yourself beyond limits, subscribe right now. This is where you transform, where you grow, where you become stronger every single day. Now go, stay focused, stay disciplined, and become unstoppable.